Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening. So basically, what we're going to go over today is the turbine. And in order to do that, we need to go into Onshape, so aaps.onshape.com. Once we sign into there, I think I'm already signed in. Once you sign into there, you're going to see into Teams, all company users like we've been doing, and you're going to find the turbine. In the turbine, what we're focusing on today is circular patterns, curved patterns, and mirroring. So this will allow this to kind of come to life, and you'll see. But most of the features we're focusing on are right up here within the pattern commands. So these are different things. The linear pattern forces a feature or a part, or a face for that matter, to be patterned vertically or horizontally. A circular pattern allows a part, face, or feature to be patterned in a full circle. And a curve pattern allows you to basically take those parts, faces, or features and put them along a path. And that's what we're going to kind of do today, using basically the circular and the curve pattern today. So once you do this, obviously the first thing we got to do is we kind of copy the workspace. You're just going to say copy or view only. So it's important to make sure we do that. So we put our name before the title. It'll make that copy. Units for this one can be millimeters or inches actually, because there is no actual measurements. There's just counts. And we'll get into that in a sec. But I like to do it millimeters just because I like millimeters. After we're done with that, the first thing you got to do is we got to create that curve pattern. So we're going to hit curve pattern. We're going to go to part, and we're going to drop this down to feature rather than part, because the part is all this one giant piece. We want a specific feature within this part. So if we select features to pattern, we want the extrusion, and as you can see it highlights just that hole. We want that extrusion. And what we're trying to do is we're going to follow this path, this curved path, and we're going to make all these holes all within a pattern. Instead of making multiple extrusions, we can do it all in one shot. So then it asks you for the path that it wants that to follow, and we're going to choose this line here. We're going to keep orientation, and we're going to keep apply per instance. And I'll show you what that means and what that looks like in a sec. But the count in this case is going to be 10. Press enter, and you'll see that it basically copied that and cut through that instance over and over again 10 times. Orientation, if I uncheck this, what it eventually does is it starts stretching that feature out, and the orientation gets all messed up. So we want to keep that orientation so that that same extrusion is happening over again, rather than almost a new extrusion is happening over and over again. So make sure that that's checked. Apply per instance is just a relation to that, meaning that, is this okay? Is this what it should look like? Yes. Is this one okay? So it's per extrusion, making sure that it's what you want it to be. If I uncheck that, you're actually going to see that it starts moving and messing up and saying, okay, is this one's applying to this one? But if I look at it, it's not even going to extrude into anything. So if I click apply per instance, it forces it along that path and into that one part. We'll get into that way longer or deeper when we do assemblies and stuff, but I digress. So after you're done with that, you can press the green check mark. We're good to go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this giant fin or fan or blade, whatever you want to call it, and we are going to make a pattern around this whole entire part. So now we just made these features. Now we're going to take this whole piece and wrap it around. So we're going to come up here, and you're going to see circular pattern now. And we're going to leave part, because now technically this is a part, not a feature anymore. So we can select that specific part. It says turbine version 1, and you can see it's highlighted. Just that part is highlighted. The axis we want to follow is basically this top circle, and it's just going to wrap around this whole entire axle in a sense, and do something like this. We want it to stay equally spacing. Don't worry about centered. Angle 360 degrees just means it wraps around in a whole circle. And instances, we want it to be 15 in this case. I press enter. Might take a second to load, but you'll see obviously it wrapped around 15 times. So we're good to go. We can press the green check mark. And we're starting to see basically what we want to see. But the only thing is it doesn't have a bottom. We have a top, but we don't have a bottom. So if I keep going through here, the next thing to do is to basically mirror this. So we're going to come over here into mirror, and it's right here. Click that. And we're actually just going to select everything. To select anything and everything, it's really easy. You can just make a crop box around the whole entire object. It'll select that whole entire thing, which is really nice. Mirror plane, we just going to select the bottom part of this plate. Merge with all so that it all becomes one part. And in a second here, it'll do that. Yeah, it might take, and you'll see this little loading thing. It might take a second just because this is a lot of geometry, a lot of modeling within the system. So some of your computers might just take a little bit longer to process that. So good to go. Press the green check mark, and as you can see, this kind of turns dark. And now we have this whole turbine that basically is all ready and all set. So if you guys have any questions, just ask your teacher. Hopefully this helps, and thanks for your time, guys.